Good evening and a very warm welcome to another episode of Meet My Gems, an innovative and interactive approach conducted by a respected and beloved Sir, Dr. Prem Kumar Agarwal. Sir, who himself was an aspirant of West Bengal Judicial Service examination in the year 1999 and secured the top rank, has chosen the noble profession of teaching, as his passion for teaching guided him to resign from the service. He is currently the head of the postgraduate Department of Law of Hooghly Mohsin College. Formerly, he has also served as a faculty of National University of Juridical Science, Kolkata. He is also the visiting faculty of the National Judicial Academy of Honorable Supreme Court and State Judicial Academy of Honorable High Court of Kolkata. I'm sure not only me, but many other students, teachers, and legal practitioners from almost every other field related to law has benefited by coming in touch with his unfathomable knowledge of law. His teachings has inspired and changed the life of numerous students who got to understand the very essence of law and its potential. Now, I would like to pass on to Sir, who himself was a judicial officer, to enlighten us on the objective of arranging this kind of interactive session. Sir.
Thank you, Anindita, for the generous introduction. Welcome, Toton. So, today our gem in the Meet My Gem series is Toton Mistry. Toton has secured a rank in the West Bengal Judicial Service Examination 2020 and he will become a judge in the West Bengal Judiciary. Toton had been a very sincere student and he has a lot of perseverance. So through the interesting questions put by Onindita, Toton will release his secret of perseverance in achieving this remarkable feat. So Onindita, you may begin now and we'll be anxiously waiting for your conversation with Toton.
Thank you, sir. So, with your kind permission, on behalf of the Judicial Service aspirants, I would like to start today's interview session with Toton Mistry, sir. Sir, first, congratulations on behalf of all the aspirants, and we are very much delighted to have you on board in this session. I would like to ask you certain questions related to the preparation for the service examination. May I start, sir?
Yes, thank you, Anandita, and
Okay, sir.
also good evening to you.
Good evening. My first question to you would be, how does life change after becoming a judicial officer, as it is a huge achievement and also a huge responsibility in one's shoulder?
Yes, definitely, this is the huge achievement of my career, and many things now has to be done to me, and also soldering for a better administration of the justice as a judge or the judicial officer.
Yes, sir. We wish you all the best for your career achievements.
Thank you.
My next question would be, from when did you want to become a judge, or which person or incident inspired you to follow this path?
Actually, I had no such plan to be a judge, as because I have started my career as a legal practitioner in court, and after completion of 2 years in practice, I started my preparation for the judicial services. So there was no such plan, but some of my senior colleagues and also some senior advocates and some of my friends told me to give a judicial service examinations. Actually, and I would like to thank also to Mr. Prem Kumar Agarwal sir, whose guidance very helped me for my preparation. And that's it. I gave the examinations and cracked WBJS 2020.
Thank you, sir. So, we've all heard that a good teacher explains, but a great teacher inspires. In that context, tell us about the role of a mentor in your journey of becoming a judicial officer.
Yes. So actually, my mentor was my mother, whose constant support in my preparation and in my study and everything in my life, and without whose support I could not achieve these positions today I am here. And I would also like to thank again Mr. Prem Kumar Agarwal, who motivated me in study and also helped me a lot for my study. That's it.
Yes, we're all indebted to sir, indeed. So my next question would be, we all know that the syllabus is very vast for this examination. We have to keep around 14 to 15 subjects at our fingertips with so many provisions, case laws, illustration. So sir, would you kindly tell us how much in-depth and detailed study is required and what was your strategy in preparing for the same?
You know that strategy differs candidate to candidate, and it varies person to person or the student to student who prepares for judicial service examination or in kind of competitive exam services. So strategy is one of the important part of judicial examinations, as because you have a vast syllabus and it is not possible to remember all case laws and all provisions of the law. There are vast subject, you know, the law is the legal part or legal academics is a vast subject. So therefore I divided the subject as per weeks. That is to say that I have to complete within 1 week one or the two subject, and in such way I have completed all of the subject. And some of legal questions appears in previous year's questions paper. I have also followed that, and in such way I managed all of these subjects papers. And you know that one thing was that I could not get sufficient time for my study, as because I was a regular practitioner of code. So I have managed, however, my time and studied hard.
Thank you, sir. That was an enlightening answer. So, in this regard, I would ask you that is a code practice necessary or does it give an extra edge to the preparation?
Yes, code practice, I think, as per my opinion, the code practice is required. As a judicial officer, I think that if you have some knowledge in practical experiences before the court, as a court decorum, as a some practical knowledge in practice, so it may be helpful as a judge or the judicial officer who will be sit in a chair as a judge or the judicial officer. So I think the court practice is required. But in case of academic or WBJS syllabus, it is also not required, as because the syllabus is not based on the code practice. So for code practice is required, because if you have some knowledge, you can utilize it after getting the positions or after sitting as a chair in bench or as a judicial officer or magistrate.
Thank you, sir. That was a helpful insight for all the aspirants. Also, did you start your preparation from your LLB days or did you start after graduation while you were practicing?
No, actually, I have started my preparations for judicial services after completions of the 2 years in practice life. Obviously, I have studied all of the subject that has been in our judicial WBJS judicial syllabus. So it was already we have read in our law school. But for examinations, I have I have started my preparations after completions of the 2 years in my practicing career.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So kindly enlighten us on the strategy you used for the compulsory papers, especially the broad answer papers like that of CRPC, CPC, Evidence, Transfer of Property Act. What was your strategy on these compulsory subjects?
For the compulsory subjects, I have firstly gone through all details from BR Acts, because if you have if you do not have any particular knowledge, particular statute or particular provisions, you cannot write down fully, as because the time management is a great factor in written examination. So you must have some particular knowledge about any provisions of law or basic idea. If you have a basic idea in particular paper, so whatever be the questions, you can easily solve it. And that I faced that the practicing side that I practice in court, So it was great helpful to me, as because I have practiced two times before the subordinate course. For that reason, such applications of law like bail matters or any injunction application. So I have applied my basic idea and I have put all of such from academics as well as the practicing experiences in my written papers. So that strategy I have followed. And also there is some the case laws and there is some quotations of legal jurists. So it was also necessary for write down for broad questions. Obviously it is not necessary for the 2 marks or the 5 marks questions. And now the pattern is completely changed from earlier WBJS papers. From last 2 years the pattern has been changed in judicial examination. So definitely now you have to answer to the point. So that is strategy I have followed and I have correct.
Yes, thank you, sir. So, in reference to this, I would like to ask that what were the books that you referred to for each of the subjects? Also, did you prepare your original notes for preparation for the mains examination?
So one thing is that you cannot get the everything from one book. And if you follow some previous year's questions paper or any other competitive exam questions paper regarding legal subject, then you can find a lot of the questions. So it is not possible to find out all the questions from the one book. So that was important for us or for the candidates. I have write down in separate notebooks, and obviously it was helpful to me when I gave the examinations. And I got a lot of the more common questions from the also original notes, also the required for cracking. And also the Bear Act is the most important part of our study. So definitely original notes is required, and also there are some other books is also required.
Yes, thank you, sir. So, sir, another important question is that there is no syllabus as such for general knowledge and current affairs paper. So, how did you prepare for this subject, since it's a compulsory paper for both preliminary and mains?
You know that one thing that there is no end of GK papers, and general knowledge and the current affairs is the first subject. So that I have done. I would follow some Hindu newspapers as it is also available in market, and also now mobile apps and the laptops you can download the Hindu papers. So I would follow the Hindu papers and the general newspaper. Every general newspaper is also required for your practice in GK part only. So I have followed, and there are also several the books on current affairs available in the market, like the Patrikota Darpan, and also competition success review or the refresher. So there are the lot of the books available, and I have managed all kind of books and also the from the newspaper, and it was helpful to me.
Thank you, sir. It will be helpful to us as well. Sir, the next question would be, what was your strategy on the language papers? How did you focus or divide your time between the other law subjects and your language papers?
There is no any separate strategy for the language paper, but I have given 1 or 2 hours in every day for the language paper or the any like the GK or any other papers like English, general English. So you cannot give the separate time for such papers, but you have to follow every day language papers and also the GK papers and general English. So I have followed such papers in a day. I divided the time. Mostly, I would prefer 1 or 2 hours for the language paper. And language paper, you know that there is no separate subject or the books that we have studied in our class 10 level or the 12 level. Language paper that is the sufficient for study, and I have followed all of such books, and uh, in such way I have completed that
Yes, sir.
syllabus.
So the regular practice is the key. Thank you for
Exactly.
yes. Thank you for enlightening us, sir. So, sir, what were the optional subjects that you chose, and what was the rationale behind it?
You know that I had Hindu law, Mohammedan law, and the Partnership Act. As there is no rational things for taking such subject, as because the maximum the provisions was known to me, as because I have the practiced in my practicing career such Hindu law like divorce, maintenance, divorce, and such type of cases I have done in my practicing career. And also I have studied in my law school, and I was also very keen on such subjects like Mohammedan law, Hindu law, and the partnerships, and I took them as optional paper.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So another important question would be related to time management. While answering the papers during the examination, we get 3 hours for 100 marks paper. So it is generally not enough to write with illustrations, case laws, the sections, the analysis of all the answers. So how did you divide your time accordingly during answer writing?
You know that at first I have started to attend first 20 marks broad questions. So generally it may take 15 minutes. So you cannot waste your time more than 15 minutes for 20 marks questions. And there are a lot of the questions, but time is too short. So you have to manage your time in such a way that you can attend everything. It may be that all the questions are common, but due to time management, if you leave one question, then it will not be good for you. So the time management that I have done, I have completed 15 marks question or 20 marks question within the 15 minutes. And after that, for 5 marks or the 2 marks, I allocate 3 to 5 minutes for such type of the questions, and there is the separate groups A or B. So definitely for group A questions, I have divided 1.5 hours, and for group B, I divided 1.5 hours. And at last, the time management was I had to complete group A questions paper within 1 and 25 minutes, as because you have to leave some time for checking before the before your completions of all questions. So in such way that within 2 and 50 hours I have completed, and the 2 hours 10 minutes I have left for checking and revise also such answers that I have done in my written examination, written papers.
Thank you, sir. Sir, during the day of the examination, we have a very hectic schedule. We have 2 papers a day, and on some days we even have 3 papers, like that of IPC, CRPC, and evidence, for instance. So, what was your strategy in revising those subjects on that particular day? Do you recommend revising, or do you recommend relaxation during the exam break?
Actually, you will not get any time to revise all subjects, as because there is a hectic schedule, and you know, in one day you have to attend 3 or more papers, like CRPC, IPC in one paper, and another is the Evidence Act in one day. And just you have to complete it in 3 hours, CRPC, IPC, and next hours you have to complete it Evidence Act. And so in such way you have to complete it 4 or 5 days consecutively. The exam is conducted for consecutive 4 to 5 days. So in 4 to 5 days you will not get opportunity to study it all or to revise all of the provision. So that I have done that. I have particularly followed the chapter wise questions and chapter wise the provisions and the section, as because if you have remember the chapters and the section, automatically the content will be available, or content will be memorable to you if you follow the particular chapter or the particular section. So in such way I have managed.
Yes.
That strategy I have followed.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So now I'd like to ask you certain questions about the interview. So, how to overcome the fear of speaking in an interview and the nervousness of facing an interview board, and how does one prepare for the interview?
You know that the one thing that I have also earlier appeared in the interview session or interview board before the judicial service examination. So in this year, the interview members, or in regards to other years, others previous years, interview boards members are very cordial. This environment is very cordial, and they are the very helpful, as because you know that the one thing that the answer will be given by them before you. If you have any problem to give the answer, they will connect you. They will try to connect you the original answer. They will give chances to memorize you. So it may not be the possible to memorize all of the answers at the interview board, because interview board is that board is very fine, but the candidates becomes nervous in
Yes.
interview board. That happens for all, not only myself. So generally, as far as possible, I tried to be a normal, and I gave the answers to the all questions, because the maximum exam questions are tricky. You know that the
Yes.
shortcut exams, shortcut questions may not be appear to you. Some tricky questions may be asked by the interview members. So you have to answer the carefully what they want to shoot for the from you. So generally the questions is the very normal, but it may be there's some tricky question. You know that you know the answer, but for that tricky questions, you may nervous, or interview board is due to the cordial environment. They will the interview members, as because there are the three members in interview board. So they will give the sufficient chances to, and they will provide, they will support you to provide your answer. So generally, you should be normal, and that I was, and I gave all the answers of the interview members.
Yes, we have to be calm and understand the questions if
Exactly.
they're tricky. Thank you, sir. So now I'll ask some general questions. How did you balance your social life while you were preparing for the examination?
So it was quite impossible to me, as because I had to attend the court, and you know that after returning back from the court, I got very tired and exhausted. So generally, it was not possible for me to study, to get the time for home all day, as because I have managed one thing, that I used to sleep 4 to 5 hours in a day. So in such way, I have practiced. And you know, one thing is that if you have a good will, so you can success anything. So brave will, so is one of the important strategy of your career. So if you have a brave will, then you can success everything. That I have done. And whenever I got the demotivated from my study or anything, so I would follow some notes of some great leaders, or some things, like in my life. I got the Bhagavad Gita, the two chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, Gyan Jog and the Karma Jog, greatly helped me for my career support. As because you know that the when I got the demotivated, I would follow the some concepts and the some words of God ensuring in Bhagavad Gita. So that's helped me a lot. So in such way, I have managed my daily life. And when I had to travel in other sport, so when I would travel by car or by train, I would follow the bare acts in my travel journey. So in such way, I have managed all of such my time for preparation.
That is indeed inspiring and motivating, sir. So there are many lawyers, I'm sure, who are practicing and preparing for the examination. So what would you like to tell them? How do they devote their time when they are also practicing in courts?
Actually, when I started my preparations from as a practicing career, that was the peak time when I left, as because so many cases I have the left for my service preparation, or judicial service examination. So I can say one thing is that you cannot sail on two boats. So generally, you have to do one thing clearly and minutely. So just going to the courts and return back from the courts and studied, it is quite difficult to you, as because obviously the practical experience is required, but as per the syllabus of WBJS, it is based on the academic. So academic performance is the more important than practice for cracking the judicial service examination. So I think that if you those who are the practicing before the court, I suggest only one thing to them, that that I have done. I left practicing 3 months before my examinations. So generally, in such way you have to practice, and you have to manage your time. So otherwise, it will be difficult to you to manage all of those things, as because there are the lot of the phone calls will come whenever you will study. So that I have faced. So many times when I were studying, and many of my clients rang me for their cases. So it was very difficult to me, that I have faced. So I would suggest to all of the lawyers who are the practicing before the court, if they are the aspirants to be a judicial officer, then they must have to live for some while practicing before the examinations.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, it may be quite difficult.
Yes, I'm sure that will be helpful to a lot of practicing lawyers who are also aspirants for this examination. So, while you're at it, I would also like to ask another thing, that did you prepare for some other law-related examination while preparing for the judicial service examination?
No, I did not give any other examinations, but earlier I gave only the Delhi Judicial Service examinations, but I did not crack the interview, but I have cracked written examinations in Delhi Judicial Service. Otherwise, I did not give any other law examination.
That's great, sir. So, now to lighten up the mood, I would like to proceed with a quick rapid-fire question-answer round. May I proceed, sir?
Yes.
So, civil or criminal?
Definitely criminal.
Smart work or hard work?
Both.
Yes, sir. Books or handwritten notes?
Both.
Physical classes or online classes?
Physical classes.
Yes, we are definitely missing that in this pandemic.
Exactly.
Seminars or webinars?
Seminars.
School or college?
This is very crucial. Both.
Yes, sir. So, age-old customs or modern trends?
Both is required.
Yes, sir. Constitutional practice or criminal trials?
Criminal trials.
Physical court hearing or online or virtual court hearing?
As per the present situation,
Yes.
so virtual hearing
Yes.
is I prefer
Bound
now.
to. Yes.
Yes, we are bound to.
So, service or practice?
It is very crucial. What can I say? Definitely, in such positions, I would prefer service.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So, my concluding question to you would be, anything you didn't like about the examination, or any changes that you would like to see in the exam from an aspirant's point of view?
You know that the one thing is that it is not depend of us. So definitely we have to manage all of such things in such way that many changes has been brought by the those who are the conducting examinations, and we have no hand on such type of the activities, but we have to do as per the decisions making body, or the those who are the conducting examinations. We have to do all of such as per their recommendations, or as per their suggestion. We cannot have do anything in our way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving us such detailed insights. I'm sure these will help all the judicial service aspirants. Thank you again, and congratulations. Now,
Thank you, Anandita.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to ask sir to say a few words.
So that was our Toton, the gem of today in Meet My Gems. Thank you, Toton.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your candid and very nice revelations of your secret of success. Your perseverance, your patience, your hard work is remarkable. May you scale the ladder of success more and more in your life as a judge and as otherwise. Toton, I
Thank
am
you,
proud
sir.
of you. I'm
Thank you,
proud
sir.
of you. And I'm sure through the interesting questions put by Anindita to Toton, the revelations, the bearing open the mind and heart by Toton will definitely help the aspirants of various competitive services in law, including West Bengal Judicial Service, West Bengal Legal Service, West Bengal Prosecution Service, and also Judicial Service of other states. So, thank you, Toton, once more. Thank you, Anindita, for conducting the interview session so nicely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity of having such a wonderful, enlightening, interactive session with sir.
Thank you, Anandita, again. And thank you, sir, again.
I'm sure every aspirant of the Judicial Service examination will benefit from this insightful question and answer session that we had. And thank you for watching this. And please like, share, and subscribe this channel. Very soon, we will be back with another video. Continue to support us, and thank you.